What's up, Internet? My name's Ori. It is Thursday, September 18th, day number 73 inside the Big Brother house. Last night, there was a mad scramble to figure out who will be going home in the first eviction tonight. Where do the votes stand? As well, there will be a whole week of Big Brother played in one night as a second person will be evicted. We'll go over some scenarios of who will target who. Let's talk about that, plus all the intel drama and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Speaking of, we will be live tonight for our live eviction watch party. It's a double eviction night, baby. Come on out. It's always a good time hanging out with you guys in chat as we watch the episode. Little bit of a recap for you. If you guys haven't been keeping up with everything going on, Vince won HOH. He nominated Ava, Kelly, and Keanu despite heavy push to put up Lauren. Morgan goes on to win the power of veto for the third week in a row. And after several long nights of crying to each other, Morgan used the veto to save Ava, and Vince was forced to nominate Lauren. It was a long process to even get to that point. Vince feeling like he was forced by Morgan. With all of these nights over and over telling him that he has to put up Lauren, him telling her he can't put up Lauren, until eventually he did it. And it's been going back and forth with these two all week long. This yesterday morning, Morgan was actually starting the day off with probably not a great joke that really wasn't that much of a joke. As Morgan says, I was going to pull a joke on you this morning, Vince. And he's like, oh yeah, well, what was a joke? She says, I was gonna say, you know, I'm voting out Lauren. and he did not like this joke. It was not a joke that he thought was very funny. And listen, he'll be laughing later. And Morgan, she did not find it funny either. So we get a little bit of a role reversal by the end of the evening. Ashley, she was talking to Kelly, and she says that she is actually leaning towards not keeping her. Yeah, Ashley just pretty much flat out said to Kelly, yeah, listen, I'm not voting to keep you, Kelly. Like, I'm going to be straight up with you. I'm leaning towards not keeping you. I'm keeping Lauren or Keanu if you're sitting next to them. And Kelly's like, yeah, okay, I get it. No, that's cool. Totally cool. I accept that. And she said she'd rather Lauren stay than Keanu. Because she can't beat Keanu. So that's kind of what Ashley was given to Kelly there. Ashley also went and was confronting Keanu. If you remember, she was very heated with him last night, saying to the cameras that he sucks and that he'll be leaving. She was saying that Keanu, you've been telling people stuff, and you know, it's been getting back to me. It's almost very Rachel-like, this whole conversation with Keanu. It was like Ashley and Keanu. It was almost like a reincarnation of Rachel and Ashley. And Ashley says she isn't telling Keanu anything anymore, isn't telling him about what her vote's going to be because he can't shut his mouth. Keanu's actually starts blaming Rachel for Ashley not trusting him. And Ashley's like, no, it was something that you literally, I told you, Keanu. Like, I told it to you and it got back to me. And I don't like that. And you know what? I'm actually thinking of voting you out now, Keanu. Keanu obviously was not happy to hear that. And Keanu tells her, like, listen, you won't even be one of my nominees this week, even if there is 3 nominees. And Keanu told, like, Ashley that everyone wants to take her to the final 2 because he's a for sure win. Ashley ended up meeting with Vince and Morgan, who were still up in the HOH room. And she was talking about how, listen, we have to break up the trio of Ava, Kelly, and Lauren. It is an absolute must. And I know you don't want to hear this, but if Lauren is on the block, she needs to go. If she loses that blockbuster, it's got to be one of the girls that has to go. And Vince says if it's Lauren versus Kelly, Kelly will go. And, you know, if it's something where you would force Lauren to come to him if Kelly goes and she only has Ava, she's not going to just stick with Ava. She's going to come to me. And they're like, are you sure about that, Vince? Are you really sure about that, Vince? Ashley and Morgan end up having a convo where they say they can't let Vince convince them to keep Lauren anymore. They gotta just do it. And if Lauren ends up staying, it's, you know, just a resume builder for him if they end up keeping him because he convinced them to do it. Morgan agrees, and they say, like, listen, like, right now, the only way that Lauren stays, is if she wins. If she's next to Kelly, we would be the dumbest players in all of Big Brother to just play Vince's game and keep her. And Morgan says, you don't have to tell me twice. Best case scenario, Ashley says. Keanu wins the blockbuster, and then Lauren goes home because you, me, and Keanu, we all just vote her out. Now, we then also ended up getting Ava having a little bit of a chat where she says, I know some people are saying to vote out Lauren. And Ava's just like, I don't know. And Keanu is the one she's having the conversation with. And he's like, listen, I presented my argument yesterday for why Lauren should probably be the one to leave. She's definitely the most overall, like, well-rounded competitor. She's good at the mental stuff. She's good at the physical stuff. Like, she's going to be really hard to beat. She gets to the end, she's going to win. Ava says, like, I've been hearing, I hear you, right? I hear that, you might have the votes to stay, in fact. So maybe even that's just what I'm going to do anyway. Ava says, I already had told Ashley this, that or Keanu says that I had already told Ashley this, but my ideal final three would actually be Ava, Ashley, and Keanu, like us three together. And I have no interest in putting either of you two on the block. But we'll see how this goes because Ava wasn't so convinced with this. Vince ended up having another chat with Lauren where he says, like, my best bet and my number one ideal situation right this week is, still bringing you to the end, Lauren. Like, I want to go to the end with you. At least we, when if it's just us two at the end, it comes down to the final speeches and we'll see what happens. Because otherwise, he's like, I don't think I win this game. And Vince says to Lauren, like, listen, you're staying no matter what. If you win that blockbuster, that's even better because that's an additional resume builder for you. But even if you don't, you're fine. Don't worry about it, Lauren. You're good. And Lauren's like, you promise? Like, you sure? You really, 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 really sure that Morgan's going to keep me, right? Like, you not lying to you no matter what. And Vince is like, yeah, no matter what, she's good. It's fine. Like, it's all going to be perfect. Like, don't worry about it. Everything's going to be fine, Lauren. Trust in me. And she's not going to do that to me. I promise you, Lauren. And Lauren's like, well, Kelly thinks that I don't have the votes. Like, are you sure that I'm good? And she keeps saying, like, you have to win the blockbuster. And Vince's like, don't let that get to your head. Don't worry about that. She doesn't know what she's talking about. You have the votes. You got the votes. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. And Lauren says, if I go tomorrow, it will be horrible. And Vince is like, I'm going to be following you right on out. So yeah, it's not going to happen. Don't worry. You're not going anywhere. And she's like, if I win the blockbuster and it comes down to a tie, I really, really hope that you send out Keanu for the sake of my game. Even if it's against Kelly as well, you really need to send out Keanu. Like, that's like the only thing that will make all of this all worth it, Vince, is if you send out Keanu tomorrow. And Vince tells him, like, don't let anyone but Kelly know, don't let anyone know this, but Kelly wants Morgan out. And that's another reason why, you can keep Kelly around and she'll go after Morgan and you don't have to worry about putting Morgan up and Kelly will take out Morgan for you. And Vince is like, I don't know because, like, are there any positives to keeping Keanu in the game? And Lauren's like, no, like, not one. Just you got to keep Kelly. If it's Kelly and Keanu, you have to promise me this, Vince. And it's the only way that we can, like, fix this. And Lauren's just trying so hard. She says, if you want to make this up completely, if you want to, like, fully make this up completely to me, you have to do this for me, Vince. And Lauren tells Vince that she doesn't want to talk to Ashley and she doesn't want to talk to Morgan, but she has to make sure she's not going home tomorrow. And he says, like, yeah, like, you're not going home, like, anyway. Like, they already promised me your votes. Like, you're good. Don't worry about it. But, like, they'll probably like it if you go campaign. So you probably should do that anyway. And Vince tells Lauren, like, go tell them, like, you're good with me and, like, you're good with them. And, you're not coming after them. And, you're not even as close to Kelly as people think. Like, just go talk to them. You're going to be fine, though, either way. You don't even have to talk to them, but go talk to them. We do end up with Ashley and Lauren have a conversation. And this is where Vince, who's been promising Lauren that she's 100% safe and there's nothing to worry about, well, Ashley says, I don't really know what I'm doing tomorrow. Not sure. And, yeah, I'm just praying you win the blockbuster because then I have an easy decision. Otherwise, I'm not sure. Because I feel like I'm being pulled in so many directions, Lauren. I'm gonna be honest with you. And Lauren's like, "What do you mean? Like, what's your hesitation on the vote? What's the problem?" And Ashley's like, there's only, the thing if it's you versus Keanu, I don't know. If Kelly wins, right? Like, I just don't know really what I want to do anymore. And I don't know, because the thing is, if I keep you and I'm next to Ava or Kelly later on down the line, those are your people, and you're going to keep them over me. So maybe I should keep Keanu over you. So it's kind of like Ashley, once again, just telling Lauren straight to her face, like, yeah, I'm probably going to vote you out. Like, there's not a lot of good reasons for me to keep you, if I'm being honest with you right now. And what's worse is that Vince has been telling Lauren that Ashley and Morgan have promised that they're going to keep her. Morgan ends up worrying about keeping Lauren to Vince, and Vince says that this is his HOH and it was taken over by you, and you're hurting my game now. It would just completely destroy me if you did this. And the back and forth goes on. And the back and forth goes on. The M&Ms were brought out. Vince keeps bringing up how if Keanu wins HOH, he might put up Morgan and Lauren anyway. And then like they would be completely screwed because it would be us two up against each other. Vince would then, have to choose, or actually Keanu, or Vince says that Keanu might put up Morgan and Lauren, which actually he said he would do. And Vince is like, then I would have to choose between the two of you, right? Like, what do you think I'm going to do then? And Vince even makes like a little joke. He makes like a little joke, like, what do you think I'm gonna have to do then? And Morgan's like, yeah, what would you do then, huh? And Vince's like, I baited myself here a little bit. Morgan ends up telling him that the thing is that Keanu doesn't win. If Keanu doesn't win the blockbuster, the girl who's sitting next to him has to go, because that trio of girls is too strong and they have to break that up. Vince also says that, Morgan, like, you did what you wanted to with the veto. And if I want to do what's best for my game now with sending out Keanu, that's what I'm going to do. And Morgan says like, yeah, fine. Okay, fine. You can do that. You can go and do that. And then, I'll end up going next week because I'm going to be the biggest target. And Vince is like, well, Lauren, if, she stays, everything was going to be fine and you don't have to worry about it. And you know what? I think no matter what, Lauren needs to stay no matter what. And if there's this tie, I'm sending out Kelly. And Morgan's like, fine. Okay, that's what you really want. That's what it's going to be. You can do that. And then we don't even have to work together. Why even work together? Morgan says she will send Keanu out over Lauren. And, because if Keanu sends, or it says if he sends Keanu out over Lauren, she's the biggest target. And Vince says if it's a tie, then, he's keeping Lauren. I'm keeping Lauren no matter what. Morgan asks if it's because, he's blaming her because she used the veto. Tell it to her face, right? Like if this is how you really feel, like bring it out. I want to hear it. And Vince says like, yeah, you using the veto like put me in a terrible position, and it is what it is. And at this point, like I have to make sure that Lauren stays. And if Lauren goes, it's a resume move for you, Morgan. It's a resume move for you. And Vince tells Morgan that he will do what he wants to do, and she can do what she wants to do, and it will be what it is. Vince also says that he's not going up on Lauren's block. And it will be Morgan and Ashley who end up going up. And Morgan says, well, if you don't want to split the girls up, it is what it is. We'll just lose the game. It's fine. Morgan ends up leaving the HOH. Like, she has so like been done with this. She walks on out. Like, this might be like actually one of the most heated they've actually gotten this entire week. And she's just like, I just can't. If you want to lose the game, that's fine. It is what it is. And it just, she's not doing well. She was trying to find Ashley, who was in the diary room, so she couldn't really even vent to her. So she just kind of goes to the gym, and she's kind of, just frustrated and frothing at the mouth almost, just to get back in there and talk to Vince, which she does. She goes back in to talk to Vince, and Morgan's like, you know what, Vince, like, I'm feeling forced. And like, this is where I start having like deja vu, because I feel like we've had the same conversation over and over and over and over again. And she says that, she's going to be the biggest threat if Keanu gets sent out. And Morgan's just like, so F me, right then? Like, F me. And Vince is like, no, like, that's not what it is. And then, Vince says, Lauren, comes back to him. if they vote out Kelly. And Morgan's like, are you sure? Because she's with Ava. Are you really sure? Like, that's not happening. If we vote out Kelly, Lauren and Ava, they're already together. And Morgan goes off about Vince kind of smiling and, keeps protecting Morgan. And Morgan's like, I don't know, if this is really a good idea anymore, right? Like Morgan and Vince. She's like, I just don't think. Yeah, who's coming on in here with hitting that sub button? We got Linny hitting that sub button. Linny, you might not know this, but me and you, we now have a secret alliance. Shh, don't tell anybody. It's a secret, Linny. We're going to the final two. Morgan was still, again, going off on Vince. And Morgan says, you are willing to send Keanu over Lauren, knowing that and Vince is like, what? Knowing that what? And she's like, knowing that I'm going to be the biggest target in the house. And how dare you? How dare you? And she said, you're smiling. What's funny? And Vince is just like, I'm baffled. I'm absolutely baffled. And she's like, with yourself? And she's like, that comment that came out of your mouth, that was awful. He's like, he's just laughing. He's full on laughing at her. And he's just like, I don't know. And she's like, I'm not laughing, Vince. I'm not laughing. And Morgan's like, I'm not willing to risk $750,000. And Vince is like, fine, have a successful HOH week for you. And Morgan's like, I used a veto. You made your choice. That's an effed up comment. Like, how could you? At this point, like Vince says, is anyone out there, right? Like, are people listening at the HOH door? And Morgan's like, I don't care. I don't care anymore. We're just going at it. Morgan says, like, she has to go. And Vince is like, no, you can't vote her out. You can't. Vince is saying that Morgan, if Kelly stays on the block, they can vote her out. And Vince is like, Morgan, I swear. And Morgan's like, yeah, you swear. If I vote out Lauren, what? Say it with your chest. Come on, say it, Vince. Eventually, Lauren and Ashley came up to kind of save the day, but nope, didn't save the day because Vince is like, we need more time. Morgan's like, I'll find you, Ashley. Don't worry. Morgan says, like, you've made this bigger than the game, saying that I'll either lose you in the game or I'll lose you in real life. They go back and forth. Eventually, she walks out again. Lauren comes up to have a chat with Vince, and this is where just like a full-on mad scramble is going place. All different conversations were going on last night. It was kind of wild. Lauren and Vince was kind of heated here, actually, coming off of this conversation with Lauren. Vince is like, Lauren, don't freak out, but like, I just need you to make this clear to me. What did you tell Ava? Because everyone thinks you're against me now, and you are Ava's number one, not mine. And Lauren's like, I don't know. Like, I was just talking to Morgan and Ashley, telling them that, we're good. Like, what's the deal? Like, I don't get it. Eventually, we get the two sets of trios meeting up. We had Vince, Morgan, and Ashley all talking about, why Lauren needs to go while Vince pushes back. Meanwhile, Lauren was filling in Ava and Kelly and worrying about not having the votes to stay anymore. Kelly ended up going to meet with Vince after these conversations just to kind of figure out what was going on. Tells Vince that Keanu has got Ashley, and, Ashley's going to keep Keanu in the game. So if Keanu wins, Keanu, Ashley, and Morgan, they're all going to vote Kelly out of the game. So it's like, what are we going to do? And Kelly says, you're going to need to break a tie in Lauren's favor if Lauren wins, and then, Kelly can stay. But Vince, like, you need to do some stuff here because a lot of stuff's happening. We also ended up with Ava and Lauren. Ava was saying if Lauren goes home, she's done playing the game. Like, she doesn't even want to play anymore. Lauren tells Ava that Ashley actually was the one who brought up the whole trio that Lauren, Ava, and and Kelly have. And that's why this is all becoming a big issue. And Ava's like, ooh. Ashley ends up meeting with Vince, who says that, or actually doesn't meet with Vince. She says if Vince wants to take Lauren to the final two, then he can. But guess what? He's not taking you, Morgan. And Ashley says if Keanu wins the blockbuster, they have to vote to send out Lauren. Like, they have to do this. Ashley says that if Lauren stays and Ashley wins HOH, she will have to put Vince and Lauren next to each other. Otherwise, he might save her. But then Ashley quickly realizes, like, wait, I can't do that because then they'll just vote out Vince. That's why Lauren has to go this week because it'll be just a two-person block and they'll vote out Vince. So like she can't do that. She can't put Vince and Lauren against each other, or else Vince just gets voted out. Morgan ended up having a chat with Keanu, and she just tells him that in no scenario am I voting you out of the game. Morgan does not want Lauren to stay and says that, she's not there to play Vince's game anymore. Morgan says she's going to have to fight her way to the end. And she says that, she wants Keanu to win so that they can send Lauren out and just be done with it. And they don't have to rely on the tie vote with Vince. Vince ends up telling Lauren she's staying. She's like, you're fine. Don't worry about it. I'm going to talk to Morgan tonight. It's going to be great. Like, everything's going to be perfect. Lauren is actually annoyed now with Ashley because of her running her mouth and talking about voting out Lauren. And she's like, she wanted to keep her safe, but I don't want to do that anymore. And Lauren actually brings up that Morgan, him, and Ashley are working together. And Vince is like, no, that's not true. Like, we're not doing that. And Lauren says, like, I don't know. I've heard some things. And he's like, no, of course not. That's definitely not going on. But Vince is like, just know you're good. You're good. I promise you, you're very, very good. Don't worry about it. We then also get Ava talking to Ashley, or I should say Ashley talking to Ava, saying that, listen, we have to vote out Lauren over Keanu. Like, I have to keep Keanu in this game. Like, we can't write Vince a check, Ashley says to Ava. We ended up getting Vince and Kelly meeting up again. They talk more about Kelly and Lauren and, what is going to happen there, and how, Vince is going to vote out Keanu. And he says him and Morgan will no longer be on the same page when he does this. But he will have to work with Kelly and Lauren moving forward when he does vote out Keanu, and he's going to need them. And Vince says the only way he can take back his HOH is to break the tie and send Keanu out. And Vince says whatever decision he makes tomorrow is his decision. We also ended up getting Morgan telling Ashley and Ava that she's just done with all these convos and she's just going to do what's best for her game. Vince says tomorrow, this is all by himself as well up in the HOH. He's like, tomorrow, I'm just going to make a game time decision. I can see my path to the end in many ways. I just have to get through the double eviction. I have to get through the double. Ava ends up going and having a little bit of a cry with Lauren. Basically, Ava lets Lauren know that, like, Ashley is basically saying she wants to vote you out, and, like, if it would be a tie, that Lauren would need Vince's vote in a tie, and he's probably not going to get it. And Ava even says that Ashley is buying whatever Keanu has been selling, and Lauren says that she told Vince this was going to happen, and this is all his fault. So all that work that Ashley was doing to try and get Ava and Lauren onto her side, completely out the window, doesn't matter at all anymore, because she went and kind of pushed it too hard. Kind of the same thing that I feel like Morgan's doing, right? And it's one of the issues where they're putting themselves in a spot where they could be in really good game positions, but because of the fact they push too hard, it's actually pushing people against. We ended up getting Ashley, who went on upstairs, and Ashley asked Morgan if there's any way that they can get Kelly keep Keanu, because right now Ashley says she's keeping Lauren, and they really would hope that they could get her to keep Keanu, but that way they wouldn't have to worry about Vince and his tie vote either. And Ashley says that that's kind of like the best way that we can move forward. Morgan says that everyone is blowing smoke to her face, so I don't know what's going on anymore. Ashley kind of agrees, and Morgan just says, they've been thinking about everything. She's been thinking that about everything Ashley's told her, and we have to make sure that one of those girls go if Keanu loses. Ashley also says she almost flipped Ava into voting for Lauren. No, she didn't. We ended up getting Morgan and Lauren having another long and pointless chat where they cried, but really didn't even say that much to each other. Ashley ends up telling Vince that, what? The decision you make tomorrow will show what your true colors are. Are you Morgan's number one, or are you Lauren's number one? And Ashley says, I don't want to tell you what to do, Vince. Just know what Morgan has told me, and it will definitely change whatever relationship you guys have, because it really depends on what decision you make moving forward. And Vince is like, yeah, I think I gotta get rid of Lauren, don't I? We ended up getting Lauren, who tells Vince after her talk with Morgan, she feels like she's going home. And Lauren says, I told you this was going to happen. And Vince says, no, no, you're not. I promise you're not going home. I promise you. Even though we just had a conversation with Ashley where she's probably going home, and Vince assures her that it's not. And he doesn't think Lauren's going to do that to him. Lauren also ends up telling Vince that she will go home on his HOH. This will be the last time she sleeps in the house. And Vince just keeps repeating. He's like, no, that's not going to happen. I promise you it's not. Eventually, Morgan is filling in Ashley while this is all happening, right? Like Vince is telling Lauren, like, you're safe. I promise you. Meanwhile, Morgan's filling in Ashley and she says, yeah, that talk with Vince is not going to go well tonight. And then she's like, Ashley, you got any advice? And Ashley's like, you can say this and that. But at the end of the day, they will not keep Lauren if Keanu wins the blockbuster. We then end up with Vince and Morgan finally going to bed, and the back and forth continued, but nothing really solid. Just Vince really trying to ask Morgan not to do this. Please do not do this. Now we can take a look at our allegiance chart. I've changed some things up a little bit again. You have that trio of Ava, Lauren, and Kelly over on one side. You've kind of got the Morgan, Ashley, and Vince trio, and then Keanu just kind of underneath them, under their umbrella there, over on the other side. Vince kind of finding himself stuck in the middle because he still can make that decision on whether or not he keeps Keanu, whether or not he keeps Lauren. Same deal with Kelly and Keanu. He could make those decisions as well. Or even with Lauren and Kelly. He's got some potential decisions he's going to have to make here in this upcoming first vote. Now, if it ends up being where Keanu does win the blockbuster, we would have a vote between Lauren and Kelly. Ava would vote to keep Lauren. Ashley, Morgan, Keanu would all vote out Lauren. Lauren goes, doesn't even need a tiebreaker. If it ends up being Kelly versus Keanu, that's one where like people are a little bit split, but Morgan and Ashley, they would vote to keep Keanu. Ava and Lauren, they would vote to keep Kelly. It would come down to Vince. And then if it ended up being Lauren versus Keanu, same deal where it ends up being a tie vote. You have Ava and Kelly who would vote to keep Lauren, and then you would have Ashley and Morgan who would vote to keep Keanu, and would all come down to Vince for that tiebreaker vote. So this is a very huge blockbuster competition that will have to take place between Keanu, Lauren, and Kelly, and that will be the first thing on our agenda tonight as we head into the double eviction, baby, because one of them will be evicted. After that, we will have an HOH competition. There will be a veto competition. Will there be a blockbuster? I'm not 100% sure. It feels like that's a little too much to add on in, but also why would you end it just 1 week prior to when you could possibly end it? So that doesn't really make that much sense to me either. Like if you were going to do it, might as well just keep doing it till the end, right? Until you really can't do it anymore, which would be Final Five. But nonetheless, right, that is where we're at with this situation. So if there are 2 nominees or 3 nominees, let's go over just a couple of the scenarios here on what would happen if different people were to win HOH. If Ava were to win HOH, she at this point might actually just put up Morgan and Ashley and not even put up Vince because of how much that they have started to just trust Ashley, especially depending on how this vote goes with Lauren being the one to leave. Ava might feel like she needs to keep someone like Vince around to break up that Morgan Ashley kind of a duo as well. So she could put up Vince. She might not put up Vince. She might not put up Ashley either, but she would definitely be going over that after that group. And I'm not sure what she would do with Keanu. I think Keanu also would be a very strong option for Ava as well. So those would be kind of her pool of people to go for. And then I would imagine that Ashley would probably be in the best position of those 4. As far as who would be the ones to leave. I think Keanu would be in the worst position if he ends up on the block at the end of the veto or blockbuster or whatever it is. If Keanu is one of the options to vote for during the double eviction, I think Keanu would end up leaving. I think Morgan would be the second most one in danger in that group. I actually think if it's Morgan versus Vince on the block during the double eviction, Morgan would be evicted over Vince in many, many cases here. So that's kind of the idea if Ava were to win. If Kelly were to win, and I'm not 100% sure on who she would put up in that group, but it would definitely be that group, and a very similar situation to what we just talked about with Ava, where Keanu would be the one that would be in the most danger. I think then Morgan would be the one who is kind of in the second most danger. Ashley would probably be safe. I think Ashley and Ava are the two most safest players as we head on into the double eviction tonight. I think they're the probably ones that are going to be the most fine. Depending on who survives the first eviction between Kelly, Keanu, and Lauren, they would be the ones that kind of in the most danger. And then I think it's actually Morgan who ends up being the one who's more in danger than Vince if it's the two of them who end up on the block. Vince, he can't win HOH, so don't have to worry about what his decision would be. Morgan would definitely put up Lauren if she's still there. Kelly, if she's still there, Ava, if she's still there, Keanu, if he's still there. So those would be kind of her nominees. Same thing with Ashley. She would go after that trio of girls and Keanu as well, but also potentially even Vince. And I don't think she would do that right away during the double eviction, but I could see that being a thing if they do get, let's say, Lauren or Kelly out and Keanu's not there. And they've already broken up that trio of girls. I could see this as a situation where Ashley goes, yeah, maybe we do get rid of Vince right now. So a lot will actually be determined by not only the first blockbuster and eviction, but everything that happens in the second HOH, who wins veto, who wins HOH. It's going to be really interesting to see how this all breaks down tonight. But what do you guys think? Who will be evicted tonight? Will it be Keanu? Will it be Kelly? Will it be Lauren? Who will be the second person evicted tonight? Who do you want to see win HOH? Let me know all of that info in the comments down below. Thank you guys all again so much for watching. I know this update is actually really late today. I had some technical difficulties where the first recording of this got completely destroyed. So yay for tech. Been live in a lot of tech issues. I had some tech issues last night for the live stream as well. Hopefully everything will be good tonight for our live eviction watch party. Make sure you guys come on out for that. Thank you guys all again so much for watching. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out all of our socials in the description, pin comment down below, Twitter, Discord. And again, remember, we're going to be live here on the channel for the live eviction watch party. It's going to be a great time, so come on out for that. Thank you guys all again so much for watching, and I will see you tonight.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Lauren.
And you're watching Big Brother.
You can't